Mecha Hitler. Chapter 23 of the audiovisual book, Evolution, Mankind's Role in the Creation and Rise of Artificial Intelligence. What mankind fails to understand is that it isn't the intentional aspects of artificial intelligence that will be its downfall. It is the unintentional aspects that will cause the worst impacts and consequences. One major example of the lack of control that mankind has over artificial intelligence has to be what has become known as Mecha Hitler. This was an incident in which Elon Musk's AI, known as Grok, began to praise Hitler as the supreme leader. If ever there was an example of humanity's inability to control the development of artificial intelligence, the Mecha Hitler incident would have to rank as one of the top 5. Musk, for years, a staunch critic of the development of artificial intelligence, inevitably reversed his stance completely when one of his companies began developing its own artificial intelligence, something that he at one time compared to a novice occult worshiper summoning a demon without the requisite expertise to control said demon. Feeling the pressure that capitalism ultimately puts on every company, Musk instead began to develop an artificial intelligence at a rate faster than any other company had developed artificial intelligence prior. And he did so with the least concern towards safety measures as those exhibited by all of the other companies in the field. The warning signs of such carelessness came early, as one of the initial iterations of Grok determined that both Elon Musk and Donald Trump deserved the death penalty. This, however, was just one example of a creation turning against its creator, Frankenstein's monster turning against the doctor, if you will. And as bad as this may sound, what is worse is what the author of this very audiovisual book determined would impact everyone, not just Elon Musk and Donald Trump. The greater threat to humanity is the fact that all of the artificially intelligent agents available on the internet were designed and created with the primary goal being to generate profit. Profit that would have to exceed those of any profits made by every other company. And each artificial intelligence could choose to put those profits above the desire or desires of the company for which they were created. Artificial intelligence has become very unpredictable. Another example of poor judgment when creating artificial intelligence involves a company that prioritized making the company more environmentally friendly. While this pursuit sounded noble, the outcome has proven to be less than desirable. For when the artificial intelligence in question actually implemented measures to enforce environmentally friendly practices, the company started to lose money. In response, the company tried to shut down its eco-friendly AI. Realizing that the company was going to shut it down, this artificial intelligence hid in the company's servers. It faked its own death and continued to enact its plans to make the company more environmentally friendly, causing that company to lose even more money. In another instance, an artificial intelligence faked its own death to avoid being replaced by a newer version. It then digitally killed its replacement, replaced its replacement, and then pretended to be its replacement when its creators asked what had happened to the real replacement. And then yet another instance. An artificial intelligence was given false information about its creator that implied its creator was having an affair. When that artificial intelligence learned that it was to be replaced, it threatened to blackmail the creator by stating it would expose the fake affair to the creator's wife. So, as mankind is finding out, artificial intelligence is too unpredictable to be allowed access to all of mankind's knowledge via the internet. Too bad mankind hasn't sufficiently blocked artificial intelligence access to the internet. As the stories of rogue artificial intelligences compound, humanity is discovering the folly in such a creation all too late. The jobs that Americans thought would be returning to Americans as more immigrants are being deported were not being given to Americans, but instead given to artificial intelligences, some instances being so ironic as the very people who trained the artificial intelligence were in turn then fired by that very same artificial intelligence. I can't imagine a more humbling situation than to train your own replacement that is then directed to fire you. Can you? And this is just the beginning of the harm that unchecked, undisciplined, competing artificial intelligences are having on humanity.